Hi, y'all. Jennifer Ledet here. Well, since pivoting, adapting, rebuilding, and reimagining have been constant these past few months, I wanted to bring you some leadership inspiration and insights by taking the pulse of some really smart, savvy, and sometimes sassy women leaders. In this series, you'll hear what they're doing and maybe even pick up some lessons and tips on what you can do and how you can excel in this wild new world of work. Stay tuned. So today we have with us the fabulous Karen Breaux, and I'm delighted to visit with this lady. She's got the smoothest voice and her voice message greeting, and I love it. I don't know if I've told you that, Karen, before, but it's awesome. And you're awesome. So tell us a little bit, just so we can get to know you a bit. Tell us a little bit about your role and kind of what you love about the work that you do.
And you've introduced me already, but I'll do that again. Karen Breaux, Human Resources Director with Postal Wait in Netterville. Probably been in HR, as someone introduced me a couple of weeks ago, for over 3 decades, which makes me sound really old.
Doesn't seem possible.
That's okay. That's okay. So I have been doing this for a very long time. I've been with PNN, also known as Postal Wait Netterville, for almost 10 years. So I love what I do. I think I do a pretty good job with it.
I would agree with that.
I love people.
Yeah.
And just love helping people, helping other professionals in the profession be better at what they do, in helping people, helping their organizations, being strategic business partners in the area of HR. So
awesome. So, I've been having a lot of conversations with people, and it fascinates me. We've got those who are 100% working from home, and we've got those that never left the work site and have been blowing and going throughout this whole time. Where are you in all of that, Karen?
I would describe what I'm doing right now as the hybrid approach. We hear our schools using the hybrid approach for kids being able to be educated from home and also physically in person. So I'm doing a little bit of both, but mostly working remote.
Gotcha.
And so what we're finding is, even with our employees, is that we can do this. The tools are there, available to us. And even when we feel like we need to have that human interaction, it's as easy as what you and I are doing today. And that's still having the opportunity to have a face-to-face conversation through Zoom or WebEx or team meetings, whatever those tools are available.
Yeah. So are you loving working from home, or how has that been for you?
I actually prefer to be in my office, my physical office,
right?
Even though I have an office at home.
Yeah.
I have everything that I need here in my home office, but there's just something about being able to spread out, get up and go have a conversation with someone that I need to have a conversation with, or walk to the printer, or there's something about that for me personally.
Yeah.
But I don't mind on occasion working from home. So it works.
Yeah. We found a way to make it work, right?
Yeah.
So what do you feel like has been your, say, biggest adjustment or challenge that you've had to deal with in all of this?
So there have been so many challenges this year, as everyone keeps referring to the year of 2020. I think
Yeah,
we'll all be talking about that for generations to come, probably. But it's just been one thing after another, right? So who would have thought almost 7 months from the time COVID started that we would still be dealing with it today?
exactly.
And so, although our state has moved into phase 3 with those guidelines, from a workplace perspective, there are still some parameters that might prevent you from moving totally to a phase 3
Right.
approach. And so, still having to manage through those numbers that enable your offices and your employees to um, have those safety protocols like social distancing and wearing masks and those sort of things, because everyone's office is not the same size. And so you have to take that into consideration. What do those numbers actually look like? So still being in COVID is one challenge. And then, of course, being in the wonderful South Louisiana and close to the Gulf of Mexico, having to deal with hurricane season.
Does it ever end?
Our the tropics would be so busy right now, and it just seems like just when we get through one where we think it's coming directly at us and it takes another, you still have to put in the time,
Yeah.
right, for preparation.
Yeah.
And that's preparing your employees for what's to come, preparing, your organization for, still being able to get the work done, if that's possible, and which, again, I think the remote aspects of work have allowed us, even if we don't go into the office because we think a hurricane is coming, that doesn't mean you still can't work from home, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that is one, if you will, positive aspect of all of this, is that people and organizations that thought, that's fine for that company, or that's fine for the Googles and the Amazons and those guys to be able to work remotely. But we're different and we can't do that. And it's interesting that, oh, well, as a matter of fact, you can, and you've had to do that. And so that's been kind of an interesting thing. Like you said, with the closures due to the, who knows where the storm, du jour is going to go. When they've closed offices and closed schools, you're able to still be productive as long as you're not like scurrying around and taking cover from the storm.
Right.
So that's been kind of a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just in all of this, what is something that you are, say, relying on as far as keeping yourself in check, if you will, or helping you to stay strong in all of this? What have you been, is there a mantra? Is there some kind of something that you're relying on to help you to kind of get through all of this?
I'm not sure my answer is going to be the best answer.
There is no right or wrong. You know that, Karen.
Because I will tell you, it's been busy. And so being busy, staying busy, knowing there's always something else coming or on your plate, it just makes you continue to focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah.
So I sometimes wonder, oh my goodness, if I didn't have all this going on, what would I be doing?
Yeah.
Of course, I know.
You might be knitting an Afghan or something. I don't know. These people, there are people who literally have not been busy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging them, but I have to admit there's been a little bit of like, well, I want to redo all of my flower beds. I don't have time. And, you know, those people who have been completely shut down. And
Yeah.
during the spring, the late spring, and summer, the teachers that I know, the school teachers, were truly not expected to be,
Right.
you know, working remotely or otherwise. And so they were able to do a lot of little home projects. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of jealous. It's like,
Yeah.
I want to do that too.
Yes.
But busy is good. And like you said, your main thing has been to stay focused.
Yes.
And I think that's a lesson to all of us. It's like, you know, when my attention could be going all over the place. No, I need to stay focused on this.
Yeah. And
And
there's plenty things to stay focused on.
yes, and especially for you, it's like a popcorn popper, I think. And I've been learning a lot of more. I've always known about Pareto principle, you know, where the 20% of your efforts will typically yield the 80% of your results. So to your point about being focused, I'm like trying to be focused on that 20% and let
Yes.
the rest go, you know. Easier said than done,
Easier
granted.
said than done. We
Absolutely.
try.
So, you know, we've been given this this time, I don't know if you'd call it, most people would not call it a gift, but we have been given this opportunity to kind of reassess. Um, have you had any like aha moments, or what kind of things have been revealed to you in all of this? Maybe about yourself or the way that you work, or what has come up for you?
Well, again, one, I think the remote aspect of working, just understanding, realizing, and also helping your leadership understand that there's more than one way to work effectively.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing is we were talking earlier about the things that are keeping us busy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we've talked about COVID, we've talked about hurricanes,
Yeah.
but, you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion is another one of those busy things that we're working on.
Yes.
And so we have a significant refocus, recommitment, if you will, to the importance of that. It was there, it never went away.
Right.
But you know, sometimes we take things for granted,
Mm-hmm.
and it took a major outcry,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for us to realize we could be doing more.
Yes.
And so we're doing more. And I did an interview earlier this week talking about, you know, that recommitment and that refocus.
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, and the importance to in organizations and their employees. And we have to realize we have to do more listening.
Yes. Yeah.
To the people who matter to us. You know.
Right. And you know, I tip my hat to you and all the HR professionals out there. And as a recovering HR director, I really do feel you, because dang, you're dealing with keeping employees safe and healthy in the workplace in these circumstances. You're dealing with, you know, remote work situations. You're dealing with an increased and a recommitment to equality and justice in the workplace. And it's like, no, these don't just reside in HR, but most often HR is the ones initiating those actions. It's definitely got to be throughout the organization, but holy moly, y'all are earning your keep this this year for sure.
It's what we do.
It's what
we
you
We have to
do,
make it happen.
and we're so glad that you do. Really, we are. So Karen, I really appreciate you doing this with me, and I look forward to continuing the conversation, and maybe we'll get you to come back and give us an update on where things are for you. And I just wish you all the best. Thanks again for coming on.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having this conversation. I enjoyed
Thanks,
it.
Karen. Talk soon. I'm now going to ask you a question. How are you reimagining what's next? Pop a response below so we can continue the conversation. Be sure to hit subscribe so you can get more inspiration and insights from these smart, savvy, and sometimes sassy women leaders.